Hello everyone, this is Candy the 614 Stitcher, and today is Thursday, March the 3rd, 2022, and this is my Flosstube number 37. To my new subscribers, I would like to say hello and thank you so very much for joining me on this journey. If you have not subscribed yet, please consider doing so by clicking the subscribe button and the bell so that you will be notified when I upload new videos. And to my returning friends and subscribers, thank you so very much for coming back week after week and joining me on this journey and providing me so much support that you do every week. I really do appreciate you all. It has been a busy week so far. However, I am going to be wrapping up my February and giving you some information about my stitching for February. And then we'll just jump right into March and go from there. So if you recall, the Garon Designer Focus for the month of February was hands-on design, and I did stitch quite a few of those charts along with some other things. For the month, I stitched 27 days. There was only one day that I missed, and that was on the 16th, which is when I recorded and uploaded a video. I don't know what I was doing that I didn't stitch. I usually stitch every morning, at least for an hour. I try to get in an hour every morning. So I'm not sure about that. The other thing is I had 2 new starts for the month. And I have a restart for one of my WIPGO projects that I had to, that I'm going to be restarting, pardon me, as soon as I get the fabric for that. So I have a FFO, and for those of you that follow me on Instagram and Facebook, thank you so very much for all of the support. I fully finished Sunshine on a Stem. I actually even made the pillow also. The fabric on the front is a Lori Holt fabric, and it is from her flea market collection that just was put out probably 3-4 months ago. I think it came out last year at the end of the year. And then the backing fabric that I used, I am in a quilt guild, and we have a swap. And so I don't know where this fabric, what the name of it is, but I thought it matched with the front pretty well. If you recall, I stitched my Sunshine on a Stem on a 16 count, which made it considerably smaller. With that, I used the felt that was provided, wool, it was wool, sorry, that was provided, and cut out very tiny, they are very, very tiny leaves. I cut the leaves out, and then I used the DMC green to make the stitching and attach them to the piece. And then I just made the pillow, and it was it shouldn't have taken me as long as it did. However, I do believe it turned out great. And so I thank you all so much for the kind words on my first FFO pillow finish. So now we're going to just jump right in to the finishes that I had. And this week I have 3. So the first, where is it? Okay, So I have 3. I don't know what I did with one of them. So the first item I'm going to show you is I did finish Stronger Together by the Fat Quarter Shop. And I used the called for DMC, and I stitched this on a 14 count Graceful Gray by Witchilt. I have seen some others that are just now starting to stitch this, and they are it is wonderful. I am so glad that others are reaching out and stitching this piece for Black History Month, and the donations for the United Negro College Fund. So that was a finish, and I actually finished it on, I think I finished it. Yeah, I finished it on Sunday after the Garon Toten Bag Zoom. Oh, that's what I'm missing. Okay. And then my next finish is Love Is. And I stitched this with on pink 14 count Aida. And for the red floss, I use Licorice Red. And for the words, I used Weeks Dye Works Blackboard. And I made my own ampersand. So the original chart said love is patient, is kind, and I changed that to love is patient and kind. So that was my my 2 finishes for this week. And I know I have another one. I don't know why it's not in my folder, but oh, I already showed it. It was the Love You by Hands On Design that I finished last week. Somehow I put that in my notes again for this week, but that's not correct. So I only had the 2 finishes, Stronger Together and Love Is. And Love Is can be found in the Just Cross Stitch magazine, February 2016. I did not have any new starts for this week. And so now we're going to move on to WIPs. So in wrapping up on February, on last Sunday, I stitched on Bloom, Chock Full Bloom, and it was charted by Hands On Design from the artwork of Priscilla Blain, Stitching with the Housewives. And here's a picture of where it was when I started. And here is where it is now. So I put in the word bloom. I came down and added this piece of the flower motif, and I have went back through and did a little bit of correction on some of these flowers. I am stitching this on a 16 count Aida vintage stone. And that is where I am right now. So this finished out the February designer focus for Hands On Design. I'm going to, as the year progresses on, I'm going to, I've taken note of some of the projects that I need to get moved along and finished, and this is one of those that I need to finish. It's been out long enough now. I need to, but I say that all the time. Like, I need to move this along. I need to finish it. I've been working on it for so long. But the reality of the situation is that I stitch on a whole lot of projects, which I love. Um, having so many different projects going on, because it keeps me interested and keeps me going. So even though I'm saying that, like, if it gets if an acrostic comes up where I can add it for a bee or flowers or something like that, then I'll just slide it in and work on it until it gets finished. I have not set um, any hard or fast deadlines for projects that I'm working on, with the exception of A Stitch for Sweet Freedom. So that was Bloom. Now the next on well, I was getting ready to say Monday, but Tuesday, I started the designer focus for Rosewood Manor, and I will have the hashtag. It's hashtag Garon Designer Focus in the description box below. And I worked on, for Tuesday, the 1st, I worked on Winter Quakers. And here's a picture of where it was when I last worked on it. And here is where I am now. So I finished putting in the rest of these, the rest of these squares here. And then I went and did this motif here. This motif actually has Algerian eyelets, and that was the first time that I had ever done those. So I was really excited when I did get them finished, and they looked just like they did in the magazine. I literally pulled one of my Just Cross Stitch magazines, flipped to the back, and saw it. And by the time I got to the third one, I wasn't even looking anymore. I just knew the rhythm and stitched it. It was great. And this motif is almost complete. It has 4 Algerian eyelets that I need to put in there, but I made some really good progress on the first and the second with this piece. This is also my WIPGO for this month. When Jessie Marie called the WIPGO number, she called them on the 27th, and both numbers ended up being my Winter Quaker. So the numbers were 15 and 21. And so I am making very good progress on my WIPGO for this month. So that is Winter Quaker. And I am so happy that it got called this month, since it is Rosewood Manor month. Okay. So that is Winter Quaker. And my next, it seems strange. I'm like, this is my last WIP. And I think it's because this is at the beginning of the month, and with the designer focus, it's I've been changing literally the designer. So the next WIP that I worked on, which was today, is Coffee by Rosewood Manor. And here's a picture of where I was when I last worked on it. I started this project for my friend Julie's birthday back in November. And here is where I am now. So I stitched this rosebud here. And then I came down and started the large rose that is in the very center. I'm working on this rose, and I'm actually going from the outside and working my way from one side to the other with the stitches. So I am stitching this on a 28 count Queen Anne's lace Jobelin, and I am using the called for DMC. And that is where I have gotten to. I am really enjoying watching this rose come to life. I do have some more, there are different colors floss in these spots, but I am moving across the rose. So probably while this video, because I've slated this to be today's project, while this video is taking its good old sweet time, probably, I will be putting in the stitches that go in these blank spaces. It is another pinky color, but I am really, really enjoying it. I actually love the Queen Anne's lace fabric also. I am getting ready to start a new project. It is the flower one by Rosewood Manor, and I think I'm going to choose that fabric for that project also. And if you can believe it or not, those are all the whips for this week. So now I would like to wish Gary a happy birthday since I'm recording my video on his birthday. They are Garon Totem Bag, Garon Stitchery. They are at market, and I hope they are having a fabulous time. I also saw today where Miss Barbara and Stephanie left early this morning going down to Nashville. So I am praying for safe travels for all of the designers, all of the shops owners. It's been a long time coming for everybody to get back to Nashville and enjoy being together, the designers and all the shop owners. So I'm praying for safe travels back home. I know that the Black Needle Society went. It has been watching all of the new charts come out has been very exciting, and so I'm very excited for my patterns to come also. With that being said, however, there will not be a Zoom this Sunday. And I had stated last video that when we are not doing Zoom, I will be putting in a couple of hours on a Stitch for Sweet Freedom. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go right into plans. So next week, on Sunday, in a couple of days, I'll be putting some floss, some work, love, into a Stitch for Sweet Freedom. I also have a new start that I'll be working on, and it is the Rosewood Manor chart. That it's a rose. There's no name on it. Like the chart doesn't have a name. So I'll be starting that also. And then I have down, I'll be working on Winter Quaker all month long since it is part of my WIPGO for both numbers. And so I'm just enjoying what I'm going to be working on for Rosewood Manor. I do have some other charts. So for Magazine Monthly, this month is Carolyn's birthday month, along with Sheila, Gary, a lot of March babies. My son was actually born on March the 6th, so I'll be celebrating his birthday with him. He's moved back from Texas. So it'll be good to, I didn't get to see him for his birthday last year, so it'll be good to spend time with him for his birthday this year. So the theme for the Magazine Monthly Challenge is animals for Carolyn's birthday month. And I chose to work on winter cardinal etching. And hopefully I can get that really moved along. I have, in watching the Sunshine Stitchers on Sunday, I noticed something that EJ did, and I am going to try the same. She slated how many days she was going to work on a project, and you'll understand why I'm trying to change it up a bit in a second. So for winter cardinal etching, I'm going to give that 3 days. So this month, Miss Carolyn, with all her funniness, she has 2 acrostics. And so, okay, I can do it like that and it won't glare so bad. And so I filled out for both acrostics. And that is why I'm changing this month to how many days I'm going to stitch on a project. So as you can see for F, so the first acrostic is furry. And for the F, I chose Flea Market Flowers by Lori Holt. And then I chose for U, Octopus Biscornu. For the first R, I chose Rosewood Manor Coffee. Let me go back. For the Flea Market Flowers, I've slotted 3 days to work on that. For the Octopus Biscornu, 3 days. For the Coffee Rosewood Manor pattern, I chose 4 days. For the Rose, for the Rosewood Manor, I also chose 4 days. For Y, my project is Oh Shell Yeah, and that is by Barefoot Needle Arts, and I chose 3 days. The second acrostic is Friends. For F, I chose Fairy Garden. For R, Positivity Rules, and I have that slated for a finish, and I have Fairy Garden slated for 4 days. For the I don't know why I put that in for I, but it's the Floral Fairy. Oh, I do know why. That's in Hall also. For E, I put in Faith and Endurance by Lori Holt. For N, I put in Nora Corbett, and I'm going to be working on the letter M. And I have that slated for 3 days. Faith and Endurance is 2 days. The Floral Fairy is in for 2 days. And then the D, I have Square Dance for March. And that's by Heart and Hand, and I have that down for 2 days. So I'm trying something different. When I have these larger acrostics, rather than saying I'm going to work on it for these many hours, I'm going to see if the day works better, because this can be overwhelming. So like I've already stitched 1 day, which was today, on Coffee, and I put a check mark next to it. So when I get to the end of the month, all of the days should be checked, if that makes any kind of sense at all. But that's the plan that I'm going with, because I really want to work on some of these other projects this month, and I have already started with Coffee, my spring stitching, lots of flowers, lots of all of that. And then as I find things that I need to work on, I can just slide them in for the acrostic, because like Rosewood Manor Winter Quakers, that's winter, but it was called for WIPGO, and I'm sticking to it. So those are this is my month-long plan. Next week I will be choosing, well, starting tomorrow, I'll be choosing a project off of the list to get the days in that I have put down for them. Okay, clear as mud, right? Especially when you make a change, like, oh, I'm going to change it and do that and see if it works better. When she was talking about it, I was like, oh, that might be a good idea, seeing that, I want to participate with both of the acrostics. So allotting the days will work better, I think. Water does the body good. So now we're going to move into haul. And I have a little bit of haul. I love stickers. I have been putting stickers in my calendar book since before stickers were even popular. It just gives me something to, I'm a paper crafter also. Like I used to make cards and all kinds of stuff. So this weekend I went to Michael's and they had fun sticker packets for 99 cents. And these were brand spanking new. Like she was taking them out of how they get their packaging. And I was standing there picking them up. And then there were some she didn't even have them finished putting on the shelf yet. So I went back after she finished and picked them up. So here's some pretty butterfly ones. And if you've been around at all, you know how I feel about butterflies. Here's some pretty bird ones. And I guess Robin is rubbing off on me because I am actually liking the birds. I have a bad history with birds, so it's amazing. These ones are all spring related, and I'm sorry, I just did not have the heart to take them out of the packaging, and so that's why you're getting the glare. And then this one is Bloom and Grow, which I do love doing that also. And this one is flowers in glass jars. And as you can see, I already used 2 of them. I tried to wait till the video, but then I was like, no, I need to get my page decorated so I can get it posted. So I would encourage you, if you like stickers, these are not very expensive. They're self-gratifying. So I just went to Michael's and picked these up. I ended up at Michael's because Joann's didn't have the floss for coffee that I needed. So I had to go to Michael's, and, Floss can't travel alone, right? So then I also received this month's, no, I'm sorry, this is February's club. And this is the Floss Frenzy, which are the Week's Dye Works. And this is Peach Fizz. Those colors are showing up awesome. I don't know what's going on right now, but that is spot on. So this is Peach Fizz. Look, and then the light changes. Peach Fizz, Cherub, Crepe Myrtle, Peony, Bubblegum, and Watermelon Punch. And they are really vibrant, beautiful colors. That is a little darker now since the light has changed, but I love those. Always, 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 always good. Then I placed an order. So Garon Stitchery, for the designer focus months, those charts are on sale. So you can, if you don't have a Rosewood Manor chart, or you want a new Rosewood Manor chart, which is what I did, Hop on over to Garon Stitchery. Even though they are at market, you can still place your orders. You just won't get a confirmation until they come back on Sunday. But Hands on Design was on sale last month, and so I picked up a couple of charts that I was enabled by. So the first one was Humble Honey. There was actually more that I was enabled by, but I was like, okay, you know, you got a big market order coming in, so I'll go back and get it when it's not on sale because I still want it. And then Janelle, Coffee, Wine, and Stitching Time enabled me with this one. I'll link her videos below. And it is the Java block, and I had never seen it before. So I picked up the Java block, and I am going to pick up the pens also. Because if you know me, I am big on the coffee. Matter of fact, I made myself get a cup of water because I was like, you can't tell people to drink water and then you don't drink water. But I was like, I'm going to start drinking water. So that's the Java block. And then this hasn't been out very long, and I've seen a few people stitching on it already, and it is Let's Talk Quilting. And I already have an idea for changing up the fabric. So we'll see how that progresses along. I'm not for sure when I'm going to start these yet. I'm just adding them to my stash. Although I do think, now that I say that, I do think I'm going to start the Humble Honey sooner rather than later so that I can have it out, because I really, really like this chart. When Gary showed it in the video, I was like, I know I bought that, and I looked everywhere and didn't have it. So that was from Garon Stitchery. And then I had my fabrics of the month came in. So the first one is Rogue Stitching, and this month's fabric is Atomic Ranch Fabrics. Okay. I was like, why does that look so strange? And so I get a 28 count fat quarter. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And so that is my Atomic Ranch. Now, these fabrics I get from Rogue Stitching. And how they work is that they distribute other companies' fabric. So every month it's a different company. And this is called Lavender. And it is, I mean, it's beautiful. I literally jaw dropped when I opened up that baggie. It was awesome. And then my Bestitch Me fabric of the month came in, and it is Life's a Peach. And her fabric is just so wonderful. It's nice and soft. It's got great modeling in it. And I get a 28 count in her fabric also. Although pretty soon I think I'm going to move up to 32 count. There are a lot of charts that call for 32 count. And I have stitched on it before, so I'm thinking maybe June I'll switch to 32 count in Bestitch Me's fabric. My next purchases are, we all know what is going on over in the Ukraine with Russia, and it is breaking my heart. Like, this week has been hard anyway. I have had some personal issues come up. So there was a shooting at my daughter's apartment complex, and it was I'm thankful my daughter is fine. Um, the the guy that was driving the car got shot. He hit another car, pushed it into her apartment building. I mean, it was a whole lot. That was on Friday. Then Monday morning, I wake up, um, and somebody has busted out my car window. And then on top of all of that, seeing all of the pictures of what is going on with the Ukraine and Russia, it has been a week. Um, and I never thought that things like I'm still being positive. I have to be, because um, for those that suffer with depression, the slightest little thing could tip the scale, and so I have to stay positive and do what I can. And so, with that being said, Carolyn, there is a lady in the Stitch Facebook group that lives in the Ukraine. There are actually several designers that sell on Etsy that live in the Ukraine. And so she promoted her charts on her Flosstube and in the Facebook group. And so I found a couple and I went over and started and purchased a couple. I actually purchased 3. One of them is a winter pattern, and so I didn't print it off. I didn't print off the cover sheet for it, but I will. So the first one that I picked up, which my friend Kim is stitching also, and it was timely for me because of summer and spring, and so I picked up the Flower Fairy, and this is the one that I'll be starting. I put it under I. I don't know why I put it under I, but when I made the list, it fit, and now I can't remember why. Of course, now she's beautiful like she is, but of course I will be doing a skin conversion on her. And the next one I picked up, I am going to stitch it just like it is because she is so cute. And it is called the Floral Fairy. And she is so cute. So you can see this little square border corner there. It's all the way around. It doesn't connect, but there's 4 of them. This is kind of covered up with those flowers right there. And so I can't wait to get started on both of these. I am going to be starting them both this month. I've also seen where there are that the sunflower is the Ukraine symbol, and so I have been looking for sunflower things. I have a couple, and so I'm going to pull those out. I don't know that I'll be stitching on those. I actually have sunflower florals that I meant to put out, so I'll get those put out in support of everything that they're going through. I couldn't imagine. But I'm keeping them in my thoughts and prayers. And I will link Stitchy Princess, her Etsy shop below. And then there's other designers or other Flosstubes that I know are listing more and more Ukrainian designers. So if you can, please support them by any means that you can. So I have one more piece, and it is actually Stitchy Kindness. Jan, the extraordinary finisher at Keepsakes, and I will show her card. And she is also on Instagram. So I will try to link her below. But she is Sew Finishes. And she made me a project pocket. These are project wallets, she's calling them. And so it is nice, thick vinyl that you could put some floss, a little small chart. You know, I do small, so I could slide the chart in there and scissors. And then on the inside, it is a thread bed. But if you did it right, you could put the fabric, you know, if it's small enough, you could put a whole little thing in here, put it in your purse, and if you're going to the doctors or something, you could use it. It's beautiful. She knows me very well, so it has pansies, purples all over it, and I am so appreciative. It has the snaps on the inside, so it would, you know, if the fabric didn't go down over the snaps, you could snap it all in and take your little project on the road, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I would have never thought in a million years, like I'm looking at this thinking, man, I could have had this idea, but thank you so very much, Miss Jan. I really, really appreciate it a lot. And so that is the haul for the week. Again, I will, I don't know that they'll be in before my next update, but I do have market haul coming from both Garon Stitchery and Keepsakes. So be prepared. It won't be as much as my last haul video, but I did put in some purchases for market, and I'm excited about that. My last thing I want to tell you about is I am, I lost it, doing the common threaded stitcher on Instagram. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, you have to send me a request. I have had some very strange experiences on Instagram with people following me, and I'm like, you don't do anything that I do. Why are you following me? So I made my account private. You know, I with the work that I do and my family, I don't want just anybody following me that is not a cross stitcher, is not a quilter or a crafter. For whatever reason, random men have requested to be my friend on Instagram, and it's kind of creepy. So if you would like to follow me on Instagram, please send me a request. I did do day 1 of the common threaded stitcher, and tonight I'm going to do day 2 and day 3. Yesterday just seemed to have gotten away from me. So I am joining along in that hashtag. So I look forward to requests if you plan to do so. I'm going to leave you with these thoughts. I was sitting at a light last night, and this man just randomly honked at me, and it brought me right back to Kim and Sarah's "Don't Be a Honker." Patience. We all need to exercise patience. There is so much going on in the world and in our own personal lives that a little bit of patience goes a long, long way. And I too am trying to make sure that I am exercising patience and kindness with everyone, because you never know what could happen. The incident with at my daughter's apartment complex was a perfect example of that. Um, Granted, she is fine. Like nothing happened to her, thankfully, because it could have turned out differently. And so I would request you to remember to put on a little bit of patience this week. Um, Things are changing so fast, and I think people are still overwhelmed with the pandemic and now this war. And then there are things in your own personal lives. So remember, you don't know where or what someone else is dealing with. So remember to be patient and kind this week and drink your water. Have a good week. I will see you next week. Bye.